Roger Mills, Boating New Zealand. Today we're reviewing the Sasga Menorquin 55 FB. FB stands for Flybridge. We're reviewing the model on passage from Tauranga to Auckland, delivering the boat to its new owner. We had a very early start to the day, leaving Auckland at 4 a.m. in a one-way rental car to make it to Tauranga Marina for a planned 7 a.m. dock out. Sasga yachts are built in Menorca, one of the Spanish Balearic Islands located in the Mediterranean Sea. The company manufactures a range of yachts from 35 to 68 feet. My initial reaction on approaching the boat on the marina was, "Ooh, that's an impressive boat." Partly that's its imposing physical presence, but its classic lines also catch the attention, inviting you to look along the shear line. Stepping aboard, you notice the beautiful flexi-teak decks, complemented by substantial solid teak handrails and door frames. This boat welcomes you aboard, almost saying, "You're with me now, I'll look after you." It really does impart that feeling. We cast the lines off and headed down the fairway, the bow thruster proving its worth when making a sharp turn. Conditions were perfectly calm to start the day, with some light misty cloud that would probably burn off. The forecast was for 10 to 15 knot southwest winds going northerly later in the day and generally fine. A 1 to 1.5 metre northeast swell was left over from the previous front, which had passed through overnight. The waves going out the channel past the mount were big enough for me to have to hang on or be launched skywards, but they were easily parted by the high bow. Spray flew neatly away to the side, leaving the decks, and me, dry. The forecast was bang on, so we powered up to cruising speed, just over 17 knots at 3000 RPM. The twin Volvo D6 480 horsepower engines on shaft drives were comfortably doing their thing, while providing a reassuring background hum in the cabin with the rear doors closed. In my previous outing on the Sasga Menorquin 54 HT, the same hull as this boat but without the Flybridge, Bruce had talked about how well it handled in a seaway. Now I had first-hand experience of its purposeful rise and fall, taking the swells head-on with no effect on our forward momentum. We quickly settled in for the 130 nautical mile trip, making good progress up the coast with the wind initially increasing to 15 knots before easing off to under 10 knots. The swell stayed with us until Great Mercury Island, where we stopped for lunch at Peach Grove. This was a beautiful spot to take some covers off and put the drone up. The sun was shining, the water a beautiful blue, and the sand glowed on the beach, willing us ashore. Alas, not enough time, but I did send the drone ashore to capture the boat at anchor. The perfect spot was on the Flybridge, which is what makes this model unique in the range. Access from the rear deck via teak steps, the generous top deck provided the perfect lounging space. A table and seating opposite the starboard helm station provides plenty of seating options. To the rear is a large open space leading to a teak deck radar post. This post and the one in the bow are a nod to the traditional heritage of the vessel, which harks back to the island of Menorca in Spain. The Flybridge results in slightly longer overhangs forward and aft compared to the hardtop model, and does away with the hatch above the lower steering position. There is some additional weight aloft and some more windage too, which is likely to affect fuel consumption figures slightly, but in every other sense, the additional usable space is a big plus. After rounding the end of Coromandel, We opened the boat up to get 24.9 knots, which is pretty impressive for a 24-tonne boat. Fuel consumption figures weren't available, as the Volvo Penta fuel data management software was yet to be installed by the dealers in Auckland, part of the list of to-dos to finish commissioning the boat prior to handover. However, fuel consumption figures from the hardtop version of the same hull with the same engines was 113 litres per hour at 3000 RPM. With the fuel tanks holding 2,800 litres, that's a cruising range of over 400 nautical miles. The twin 16-inch Raymarine multifunction display screens provide plenty of real estate to display charts and data, while the rest of the dash is left simple and uncluttered. The zip-wake automatic trim tab controls are to the left, along with an array of reel switches, and the autopilot is to the right. The Flybridge has similar controls, but with slightly smaller 12-inch screens. At the time of our trip, the boat upholstery was covered in protective plastic, so a return visit was required to capture her accommodation and to talk to the owner. I'm here with the owner of this new vessel, Mike, and we're going to ask him just a few questions about what led you to choose this particular model, Mike. There's a lot of boats on the market out there, so tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, after I sold my very heavy 50-tonne 72-foot ketch, which we were finding was a bit of a handful increasingly to look after and to sail with my crew, I started looking around to see what was available in the way of second-hand but good quality boats, and increasingly I became a little bit disappointed with the way that these boats at relatively high prices were being presented, and I thought, no, I think I can do better than that. And it was Hull Marine who said, come and have a look. I've got something that you might like the look of, and dragged us off to have a look, I think, at the blue-hulled 54-foot version of this. And the appearance and particularly the interior and the accommodation of this boat was a complete revelation in comparison to the other second-hand boats that I'd been looking at. It's very open, it's very bright, it's very light, and with surprising volume inside the hull, particularly downstairs with headroom. And one of my crew is 6'2". From that respect, then, in terms of a choice of appeal, the boat certainly had it. It's certainly different to look at. Really has hidden away inside its slightly traditional exterior. It's really got all the stuff that the modern boats do have, including, I think, about a 5-year-old design for the underwater profile of the hull for its efficiency and its good seakeeping capabilities. So the boat actually does a lot more than first visual glances might suggest when you look at its very traditional launch style.
Yes. You obviously got round to getting the detail sorted when you were ordering the boat, and you made some internal changes. Can you tell us a bit about what you did and why?
Yes, one of the joys with dealing with Sasga, and I did meet Jose Louis, the head of the company, at a boat show before last, I think it was. We've had a process of about 17 months to get to me sitting in my boat about to take it away. And one of the things that impressed me was the facility of the Sasga factory to be able to bespoke within reason design layout changes to suit yourself. And with this boat we've done quite a few things, and I hope that they decide that the changes are good enough for them to adopt in their own production. So you've already seen, going around, you've seen the little, I call it the jump seat, up by the skipper's seat here, which on the ordinary layout is just a great big shelf. And I spent a little time looking at the boat's layout and the proportions between upstairs and downstairs, and realised that there was a cavity over there that I could grab hold of if they were happy for us to do so, to create that very sensible extra seat. And on the boat test that I had originally, my crew ended up sitting on the dashboard over there, hanging on tight, and we said no, that's where we needed a seat, and we found the space. And then on a 54-foot boat, I don't see the need to have every bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. It's too much cleaning. But what this boat really needed from my point of view was a bit more refrigeration and a bit more storage space for dried foods and odds and sods that you always carry on a boat and never quite know where to put them. So we took the smallest of the en-suites away, created a common bathroom for the 2 secondary cabins, which is perfectly adequate, and got this beautiful storage facility down below with a big fridge freezer. Looking forward to that being sensible, but I think that was the right way to go.
Yes.
And then the other example was the inclusion of the washer dryer unit under the stairs. Everybody else does that, but Sasga in their wisdom had them sitting in the engine room, and I said, well, that's crazy. The engine room is for engine bits, but not for laundry.
Oh, well, thanks very much for having a chat with us. That's great.
You're welcome.
The Sasga Menorquin 55 FB is a large, very well built and finished motor yacht, which in my opinion offers plenty of character, beautiful lines and simple purposeful engineering. Her seakeeping ability should remove any doubts you have about venturing out to sea, or any safety and comfort concerns should the weather turn. She makes a wonderful ship for coastal adventures and holidays, promising easy passage making and plenty of comfortable spaces in which to take away family and friends. With options available to custom design your layout, this elegant motor yacht is a strong contender in the big boat marketplace.
John Ecclestone from Boating New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe to our channel.